Metadata Utility repair or relink orphan records. From the main menu, Switchboard, click on Enter/View Information Switchboard, followed by clicking on Metadata Utility Switchboard, followed by clicking on Metadata Utility to launch the main application. Once on the main application, we will simply click on the media button to cycle through until we reach the Orphan records queue, as we see in this example. Orphan records are mainly caused when users have either accidentally or on purpose deleted records from metadata utility. Once that the data has been deleted in metadata utility, as we mentioned before in other of our other videos, setup videos as well as operational videos, metadata utility uses what is called a relational database management system. And that means that the application stores the data in a smart way, meaning that data is stored in different locations to maximize the usage of not only the data, but also minimize redundancies. Therefore, when users accidentally or on purpose delete records, they may delete partially some of the information, if not all. We have dedicated videos as to how to properly clean up delete records. But for this particular example, we're gonna leave it as to a user has deleted partially some records and now there's some cleanup to do. And in this particular example, as we see on the movie called Horrible Movie, we see that basically the entire main information of the movie, such as the title, date of release, cast, director, genre, overview, tagline, duration, studio, data provider, MPAA rating, community, as well as provider ratings are missing. But we still have some leftover data, such as the XML ID, and we see the CHK value with a number 1, which, as we have mentioned in the prior videos, a CHK value number 1 indicates that this particular record had already been flagged as a suspect record. And as we have mentioned in previous videos, we have had experiences in the past where records are flagged as suspect records because during a merge process, during a synchronization process with Windows Media Center, an error was detected, and users in some cases think, I'm going to fix the problem by deleting the data from metadata utility and the problem will be gone. And once that they actually delete the data is when the record that had already been flagged as suspect now becomes also an orphan record because now some data has also been deleted, which is this example here. As we focus here, we will see that we actually have still the leftovers of the movie that was deleted. In this case, we have the actual title of the movie, and we have the ID link, which in this case we're gonna take notice of is W003. To repair such records, we simply copy the title exactly as we see it, entitled supplemental, and we paste it on the search field and hit enter for Metadata Utility to search that record. Metadata Utility will prompt that that record is not found. And to properly repair this record, we will have to do it in a manual way, as using an automated way could potentially create even more problems. We have mentioned before that using the automated way is always the recommended method, but we've had experiences in the past where users are simply used to just automating all processes. They go and search, and right now we have a title of a movie that we hope does not exist anywhere, a movie called Horrible Movie. But let's say a practical example, Star Wars or Star Trek or Alien franchise movies. Searches in which will return many records, 20, 30, 40 records. And now the user gets confused or doesn't know what to do and say, okay, well, I'm going to just click all 40 of them and I'm going to just add them to Metadata Utility. And they end up making matters worse because now they not only download the record that they wanted to synchronize, but they add 39 or 49 or many more records that now they don't even own, they don't even have in their Windows Media Center movie library. And so to avoid this process, we recommend in this particular case, users that have created orphan records or suspect records to go in a more manual and granular way until users get familiarized enough with the application to know how to repair records also using the automated method. So for this particular case, we're going to select no, which will create, as we have described before, we have separate videos how to enter and create records manually. We'll create a brand new record. And as we have mentioned before, once that record has been created, we can double click on the title to set the entire record in edit mode, which will automatically set those editable fields with a yellow background. And what we will proceed next is to actually paste or enter the exact same ID that we copied originally from our first record that we found when it was missing. We remember when we went into the Orphan records queue. Let's jump back into the Orphan records queue for a moment. We saw that particular record with most of the data missing. However, we were able to identify the ID as W003. So we either copied that ID to Notepad, to a temporary Word document, for example, so that we can easily copy and paste. And then we copy the titles up, we mentioned before, and we enter into the search field and proceeded by selecting no to actually create a brand new record. Once we are on that record, we double click to set up an edit mode. And now that we are in edit mode is where we are actually going to simply paste that ID that we copied before and the step prior. Once that we paste that record, we will see that Metadata Utility automatically will link up to the existing missing record. Then we can either insert the information back again by simply copying and pasting it from our favorite data provider. And as soon as we complete that, as we have mentioned before, when we manually enter records, once that information has been entered, such as date of release, cast, director, genre, overview, tagline, duration, studio, data provider, MPAI rating, community, as well as provider ratings. As soon as that has been completed, we will proceed with simply copying the title of that record that we just entered and entering it one more time on the search field to check again and make sure that that information has indeed been saved. Metadata Utility will immediately find the record and show and display the entire linked information. As we see just in the prior window, we see still the title supplemental, the WMC ID field, as well as the link ID field still grayed out, as well as XML ID, CHK, Path Builder 1, 2, and 3 still grayed out. But as soon as we searched on the record again, Metadata Utility checked to see whether that record that we just entered has been saved properly, and immediately linked the information back. And now, as we can see, we have the entire record, including the title supplemental information, including all the additional information that we had missing before, such as XML ID, CHK field, path builders 1, 2, and 3. For any other questions with regard to this topic, we have a detailed step-by-step information available on our website, as well as for any of the other topics that we just briefly mentioned of. We have detailed videos that we welcome of our users to click on to get more information, or visit us at our website, where we have a detailed, not only detailed instructions, but we have FAQ sections, how-to sections, we have troubleshooting sections with detailed step-by-step information on many of the other topics that detail all the capabilities that are built into Metadata Utility. Feel free to visit us at our website at metadatautility.com. Thank you for watching.